Morning, my name is Ahmed. Today I'll explain and solve one question from each lesson we took in trimester 3. Okay, so we first have to know 6 trigonometric ratios. Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, tan is equal to opposite over adjacent, cosecant is the opposite of sine, which is hypotenuse over opposite, and secant is the opposite of cosine, which is hypotenuse over adjacent, and cotan is the opposite of tan, which is adjacent over opposite. Okay, so the first type of questions is find the missing sides using the trigonometric ratios. Here we have a right angle triangle. We want to find x. We have angles 35. Okay, so we will need to know which ratio we will use. Here we have opposite and hypotenuse, so we will use sine. Okay, so sine at the angles 35 is equal to x over 8. Then we will make, to find x, we should multiply 8 by sine 35, and the answer will be 4.58. Then we have find missing angles using trigonometric ratios. Also, we will have to see which ratio we will use. According to we have here opposite and adjacent, so we will use tan. Tan x is equal to 4 over 8. So we will make tan negative, to find x, we will make tan negative 1 4 over 8, and the answer will be 26.5. Okay, if we are given two sides in right triangle, if you want to know the third, there's a theory that we should use. It's called the Pythagorean theorem. If the hypotenuse is the missing hypotenuse is the side is the side in front of the right angle. If the hypotenuse is the missing, we will make square root the first leg plus the second leg, square root the first leg power 2 plus the second leg power 2, and it will give us the hypotenuse. But to find one of the legs, we will make the hypotenuse power 2 minus one of the legs power 2 to find the missing one. Here we have hypotenuse and one leg, and we want to find the third one. So we will make square root 16 power 2 minus 12 power 2. The answer will be 10.5. Okay. The sum of all angles in a triangle is 180. So if we are given two angles and if we want to find the third one, we will make 180 minus the two angles that are given. Like this triangle, we have 71 and 56. To find angle K, we will make 180 minus 71 minus 56, and the answer will be 53. Then we should know how to convert between radians and degrees. To convert from a radian to degree, we multiply by 180 over pi, and to convert from a degree to a radian, we multiply by pi over 180. Okay, so if we want to convert 75 degree to radian, we multiply 75 by pi over 180, and the answer will be 5 over 12 pi. And if you have 2 over 3 pi and we want to convert it to a degree, we will multiply 2 over 3 pi multiply 180 over pi, and the answer will be 120 degrees. Then drawing angles. To sketch an angle, we need to divide the graph into 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is between 0 and 90. The second quadrant is between 90 and 180. The third quadrant is between 180 and 270. And the fourth quadrant is between 270 and 360. Okay. Then we should know the angle is positive or negative. If the angle is positive, we will move counterclockwise, like this. If it is negative, we will move clockwise, like this. Okay. To draw the angle, we first draw the initial side, which is this side. Then we will see it is in which quadrant and draw a line in this quadrant and connect the two lines that we draw. If you are given angle 200 and we want to sketch it, first we draw the initial side. Then we will see it is in which quadrant. It is in quadrant 3 because it is between 180 and 270. So we will draw a line in quadrant 3. Then we will connect the two lines and move counterclockwise, like we did here. Then we have coterminal angle. To find, if you are given an angle and you should find one positive and one negative coterminal angle, you take this angle and add 360 once, and another time subtract 360 until you reach a positive and a negative number. So if you are given angle 180, to find a positive coterminal angle, we will add 360 and the answer will be 540. And to find the negative coterminal angle, we will subtract 360 and the answer will be negative 180. Reference angle. To find the reference angle, there are rules that we should memorize. If the angle is in quadrant 1, the reference angle is the same as the angle. If the angle is in quadrant 2, the reference angle of this angle is to subtract 180 minus the angle you are given. If it is in quadrant 3, you subtract the angle minus 180. If it is in quadrant 4, you subtract 360 minus the angle. So here we have angle 200. Angle 200 is in quadrant 3, so we will make the angle minus 180. 200 minus 180 is 20. So 20 is the reference angle. Then we are done with the right angle triangle rules. If you are given a scalene triangle and we want to find sides and angles, we should use sine law and cosine law. The first law is sine law. Sine law is equal to sine A over A equals sine B over C equals sine C over C. Okay, sine, here we are given an angle. We have two sides and two angles on one side, and we want to find x. So sine 60 is equal to 7, and sine 60 over 7 is equal to sine 80 over x. Then we will cross multiply. So it will be 7 sine 80 over sine 60. And this will give us x, which is 7.96. Then the cosine law. The cosine law is A equal root b power 2 plus c power 2 minus 2bc cosine A. Okay, here we have angle 97 and two sides, 22 and 28, and we want to find x. So the equation will be x equal root 28 power 2 plus 22 power 2 minus 2 multiply 28 multiply 22 multiply cosine 97, and the answer will be 37.65. Then we have area. To find the area, you should be given two sides and between them an angle. Okay, the rule for the area is half multiply b multiply c multiply sine A. So here we will make half multiply 12 multiply 15 multiply sine 105, and the area will be 87. Then the trigonometric identities. There are three types of identities. First one is reciprocal identities. Sine is equal to 1 over cosecant, cosine is equal 1 over secant, cotangent is equal 1 over tan. Cosecant is equal 1 over sine, secant is equal 1 over cosine, cotangent is equal 1 over tan. Then we have the quotient identities. The quotient identities are tan equal sine over cosine and cotan is equal to cosine over sine. Pythagorean identities are sine power 2 plus cosine power 2 equal 1, tan power 2 plus 1 equals secant, cotan power 2 plus 1 equal cosecant. The first type of the identities is that he will give you a trigonometric ratio, and he wants you to find another trigonometric ratio using the identities. So here we have, if sine theta is equal to 3 over 5, find cosine theta. So first thing we have to do is to think about an identity that contains both sine and cosine. Yes, there is a one. Sine power 2 plus cosine power 2 equal 1. So we will use this identity. 3 over 5 power 2 plus cosine power 2 equal 1. Then 3 over 5 part 2 is equal 9 over 25. Then we will move 9 over 25 to the other side by the negative. So cosine part 2 is equal to 16 over 25. Then cosine is equal to square root 16 over 25, and the answer will be 4 over 5. The second type of questions in identities is simplifying identities. In simplifying, we remove the ratios with its identities until we reach to the simplest form. So here, if we have cosine plus sine over tan, in simplifying identities, we want to change everything to sine and cosine. And if there is sine and cosine, we'll leave it as it is. So here we have a cosine, we will leave it, plus sine, we will leave it as it is, multiply tan. Tan, we will change it into sine over cosine. Then we will multiply sine over cosine. It will be cosine plus sine power 2 over cosine. Then we will add the cosine plus sine power 2 over cosine. And the answer will be cosine power 2 plus sine power 2 over cosine. And in the identity, cosine power 2 plus sine power 2 is equal to 1. So it will be 1 over cosine. And 1 over cosine is also an identity which is equal to secant. And the secant is the simplest form of this identity. Then we have verifying identities. Verifying identities is like simplifying identities, but it contains two sides and an equal side. Here we have 1 minus cosine power 2 over sine is equal to sine. In verifying identities, we choose one side and we try to make it like the other one. So we will choose the left side, 1 minus cosine power 2 over sine. Okay. 1 minus cosine power 2, according to the identity, sine power 2 plus cosine power 2 equal 1 is equal to sine power 2. So sine power 2 over sine is equal to sine. And sine, we make it sine equals sine, so we solved the question. Thank you.